Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some cotton bolls in a little pitcher. We're going to keep it very simple. I'm going to simplify the image quite a lot, and we're going to use some unusual tools today. So I hope you stick around and watch the video. I don't know what I'm saying. Thanks for joining us. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey, whatever.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay. Let's get started. I always get messed up when I try to say something different. Like every now and then I kind of try, to say something different, and then it never goes well.
Mm-hmm. Try to be witty.
Exactly. Not try to be witty, just try to, change
Mix
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it never goes well. All right, I need to stick to the program. I've got a Fredrix canvas here. I decided to do a 12 by 12 inch to give a little bit bigger canvas tonight. But you can use really whatever size that you'd like for yours if you try this. And I'm using a few brushes here. I've got some Princeton brushes, number 12 Bright, a number 8 Filbert, a number 4 Filbert, and a number 6 Filbert. Not sure I'm going to use all of those, but I've got them just in case. And then I've got a few of my stipplers. So I've got the Deerfoot stipplers. I thought I might use these for the cotton balls, but I'm not sure if we will or not. So I kind of have them just in reserve, a few little sizes there. I've also got the 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch Willow's blender for the same thing, just kind of gonna see how it goes. And then I've got a fan brush for some splatters and a 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch angle shader for some of the stems and leaves. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. And I've got a roller brayer, I guess it's called, also that I'm going to use on the background. But if you don't have that, you can just kind of use a credit card or something like that. But I'm going to try that. So, and I do want to have a credit card too, which I don't have, but I'll find one. I didn't remember to put one out here. I think there's one in that little cup by you, Mark.
Stay away from my wallet.
And then I've got a watercolor pencil. Somebody was asking me where I got my blue watercolor pencil from Saturday's show. It's just a watercolor pencil. It's not anything special. So, yeah, thank you. All right, just a regular old credit card. I've cut that one up, so I've got a couple of different pieces. I'm going to possibly use that on the stem. I'm not sure yet. I don't know how rustic I want to go with this yet. So we'll see how it goes with the background, and we'll see how I'm feeling as we go along here. Let me go over colors really quick. I've got burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo green yellow shade, cobalt teal, phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue, and unbleached titanium and titanium white. And I'm going to put out a little bit of glazing liquid as well, just to help our background, because we're going to be doing lots of different colors on it. I wanted to, my idea is do kind of a neutral with blues and greens, and kind of gold in the background, browns and whites, all kind of neutrals back there. So what I'm going to start with is, I'll start with my watercolor pencil here and draw out just a little bit, and then we'll spritz our canvas. So don't let me forget to do that. I'm going to sit right here in my way so I don't forget. So I forgot to mention thank you to Princeton and Fredrix, our canvas and brush sponsors, for providing our materials tonight. And I've got a list down in the video description of all the materials that we're using and where you can buy them.
You're supposed to point down like this.
Down. There's a little arrow that looks like that in the right-hand corner right below the video. If you click on that, it'll drop it down. Now on your TV, you're out of luck because the TV app doesn't have it.
What?
Okay, I know. All right, so actually the first thing I did at the bottom here is I just kind of held my pencil really firm and decided to do about a 2-inch, pretty close to the bottom of the canvas here. And I just kind of using my finger as my guide and just kind of using the edge of that pencil. Press it right against that canvas and use it like a T-square almost. just using my own finger. You can only do that if you, you don't do it too far. You can do it about that far, and then once you run out of room, you can't do that trick anymore. But it only works so far. So, and then in this area, I decided to offset the picture just a little bit so that it's not quite smack dab center. So I just kind of went off to the side just a little bit and down about an inch and do my curved bottom for my picture and do it kind of however big you want it. I didn't want to go all the way half because I want to leave lots of room. These cotton bowls, I have a lot of volume up in here, so I want to leave plenty of room for those. So I don't want them to be kind of skimpy, and actually I probably wish I'd used a little bit bigger canvas. Once I sketched this, I was like, this is actually pretty small for what I want to do, but it'll work. We'll just downsize everything a little bit. So kind of figuring out right about there. And you want this curve and this curve to be the same. This width is going to be narrower, so it should fit inside this width here. So the lip of the vase there, or pitcher, or whatever it is. And so that curve and that curve should be about the same arc. And then there's a little bit of the inside of it showing, which I'm not sure if we're going to actually have room for that with all of the stuff coming out of our vase, but we might see a little bit of it. So go ahead and put that in there. And then basically you're just drawing a straight line from in, curve it a little bit right there, but then kind of come all the way down and then curve it a little bit at the very bottom there and there. Just like that. All right, and then right about the curve here, we're going to have our little handle of our jar or pitcher. Whatever. Come out. I keep wanting to call it jar. Do like that. And we're going to widen it out so you can kind of do a second line if you want. But I'm probably just going to use a wide brush and just kind of go over my line there. And I might want to bring it down just a little bit farther, but we'll see as we go. All right, and then I'm not going to do anything with my cotton bowls yet. So that's all I'm going to sketch, and then I'm going to spritz my canvas with some water. And what that does is get it moistened. It moistens the fibers, especially with a canvas cotton duck like this. This canvas has got some texture to it, and so it's going to need some water there. You can even use if you don't have a spray, just use a little bit of water and brush it on your canvas. Just don't go over your watercolor lines because they will disappear. But that looks good.
I wouldn't recommend spitting on it.
Probably don't.
Or sneezing.
No, neither. And I'm realizing I'm just gonna wipe my pitcher handle off because I'm gonna want to go over that area, so I don't want to color my canvas. And all right, I'm gonna grab some white and some unbleached titanium, some yellow oxide, a little bit of cobalt teal. Is that the cat?
I think we have a cat trying to break in.
All right.
So how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Hi,
I'm
everybody.
gonna kill my cat though.
Welcome to our show.
Not the one trying to get in, but the other one that keeps pooping in the bathroom.
And how's dinner going, everybody?
I know. Oliver
Good dinner.
has decided that, what in the world? Oliver has decided that this is his house and all of the people doing the renovations need to get out. And so he just keeps going in, pooping anywhere that
Where they're
they
working. Yeah.
It's driving me crazy.
So now back to some real dinner talk.
Sorry.
So.
You asked me how I was. I'm telling you.
I know,
it's your own fault. All right. Phthalo blue here.
What a potty mouth.
And burnt sienna. Go a little bit darker up in the corners here. And I'm just kind of streaking this up and down here. You can see no special technique involved, just kind of streaking it. And I'm blending it with this color that I've already got down here, so it'll all kind of go together. Having this darker blue behind the area where we're doing our flowers is going to help them show up a little bit better too. So making sure I get some of that, and I'm just really pressing down hard so I can get my I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, get the paint on there. Yeah. I'm scatterbrained today. That's how I'm doing. Obviously.
I was hoping we say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Thanking them
is that
for
what
joining
you
us.
were trying to get at?
That's what we normally do. But obviously you have some issues.
You didn't give me the signal there. I don't know.
You got some issues we need to work through.
Like some anger management issues. I would never kill my cat. I think about it. I thought, I might leave him beside the road. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Please don't send me mean notes. We're really good to our animal. He's the one that gets medicine twice a day, so
yeah,
I wouldn't do that to him. I just
sometimes it's frustrating.
Yeah, very. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get some down here. I want to put in some gray, so I'm going to get some ultramarine blue now down here and some burnt umber. And down here, I'm going to fill in with some of that. I don't want it too dark. Now, my reference photo was just, I photoshopped it, so it's not very good. It's about as good as I get with photoshopping. So the original photo was like a whole scene. It had the vase and it was on the ground, so it was just not a good angle, and there's a lot of stuff in the background, and the vase was like a bright blue, and so I kind of tried to change it up as best I could, but still not quite what I have in mind. So hopefully we'll get closer to what I had envisioned. All right, that's pretty close. And then we'll see. I don't know if I need to wait for that to dry or not, but I'm going to get some of my unbleached titanium and kind of roll it in my brayer here. Get it. Those are the colors up here, and I'm just going to roll it across the bottom here. See if I can get some texture on there. Yeah, that's working. Kind of fun. I probably need to get a little bit of white here. Okay, I'm going to do one pass now. So I want it to kind of leave a highlight. That's what I'm trying to do with that. It gives a really unique texture. So let's use some of it up in here too. Like I said, if you don't have one of these, you can use a credit card or something. Just scrape an extra layer on there. Like right over the top of that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to splatter the heck out of this thing. And I want big splatters, but some burnt umber, a little bit of that cobalt teal. I'm going to use my oops, got a little bit of burnt sienna in there. That's all right.
Somebody asked, how about a rolling rag? I don't know what that is.
Oh, probably like that you use on a wall.
Oh, for like normal like wall
Right.
painting?
Yeah, that would work.
Oh.
Uh-huh. That would give a different texture, but yeah, that would totally work, I think.
An old car tire?
Whatever you want to do for texture. All right, so doing big old splatters, kind of all in the area where I'm going to be putting my flowers there. I like that color. It's a good. Try not to get it. It is going everywhere. Hopefully, I have my camera really high, so hopefully it's not going to get on my camera today. All right, that's good. And then I'm going to let Mark, well, let me go ahead and put in the vase, and maybe I can get it to dry some while I'm putting in the vase.
So the people want to know, does the roller have texture on it?
No, it's completely smooth. This is for printing, so I used it in my kids' classes for printing, and I saw another artist using it on a video the other day, and I was like, I need to pull that out. That was really cool. So yeah, that's
nice.
So we may see that again in future for some of these backgrounds. So I'm pretty happy with that background. I may add more, but I would make sure that you have it kind of where you want it to be before you do your splattering, because of course it'll cover it up if you go over it with anything else. So I think I'll use the credit card on my vase area, and I'll use this same brush, even though
Pitcher.
it's a little bit big. Pitcher, thank you. Pitcher.
Almost like ornaments.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Ornaments. All right, so I'm just going to take my Phthalo blue and spray my thing here. Phthalo blue and burnt sienna. And I'm going to make kind of a pale, I can even grab a little bit of that cobalt teal, maybe a little bit of white here because it's not lightening up for me like I want. There we go. I think that'll be a good color for our vase. So kind of like a pretty teal color. Go right along that edge. Just pull it in. And if this brush seems a little bit big for you, which it kind of does to me, you could switch to a smaller brush. Did I already say that? I probably did.
I don't know. Depends on how many brushes you want to clean.
True. True dat. Okay. And then at the top here, I'm going to use a darker color for that little inside part. That does not look straight. I'm going to try to get it straight. It's still a little low. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use some white. going to scrape, highlight along the side here. Can pull it in, curve it a little bit, and do it on this side too. And I'm just scraping through that paint, setting my card down and just scraping my color. And you may need to wait for that initial layer to dry a little bit better. Mine's still a little bit wet, so it's mixing a little bit. I'm just trying to leave kind of a dark area right there in the middle. That's looking pretty good. Can use this smaller piece now for these smaller areas. And you just kind of want to kind of smush it flat and then scrape so you get like this little bead of paint right there, right on the tip edge. And that's what you're going to be using to, and I'm really keeping it almost upright. I'm not turning it any. And then right here where I want it a little bit thicker, I'm just going to kind of press it across. This is almost like you could use a palette knife if you have one. I'm going to scrape a little bit of highlight just on the inside of that. There we go. Yeah, that's working. Okay. And then I'm going to use the same. I'm going to get a little bit more of that phthalo blue, burnt sienna, a little bit darker here. Okay, alternative. If you don't like this, you could use a brush like this. It's got a little texture and sort of dry brush through. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of that right there in the middle where I want it maybe a little bit smoother. And right up here along that neck. An area that's a little bit darker right there. Wipe my brush off. Just pull off the paint if I got a little too much there. Not a big deal. And then I can go in with my lighter color. Kind of adjust around the sides of it. Yeah. Okay, pretty happy with that. So keeping it very, very kind of abstracted. Let's go ahead and put in let's get a smaller brush here for the arm. And again, make sure that you are completely happy with your background. You don't want to be doing this and then trying to go around it. So there we go. This is the darker color. First, wiping that off, grabbing some of that white with that lighter color, and coming in over the top. While that's wet, it's blending. You can zoom in a little bit if you want. No? Okay.
I've been fooled before. I'm zooming in, but you're not coming on camera.
There you go.
Now I'm going to be blamed.
Just actually have to watch.
Seriously?
No.
That wasn't part of the contract.
Getting some white here. Do a little bit right up on that ridge right there. darker, kind of doing the darker on the underside a little bit more. There we go. It's very rustic, so don't get too caught up in it. The on the whole will, you know, hopefully it'll all come together, but don't get too caught up in any one little area. So I'm going to add a little shadow there at the bottom of my vase and do it like that. Do some of this darker color. Get some burnt umber with this phthalo blue and do it right in here. Nice and dark right there. Okay, I'm pretty happy. Once this is dry, which it's almost dry, we'll put a little shadow on our background there too. So let's just go ahead and keep on going. It seems to be doing okay. The background is dry enough that it's sticking to it. You just don't want to do it when your background is too wet. If it's starting to dry, then the upper layers won't stick to it. But this is working out pretty good, so I'm just going to keep on trucking here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and keep on with this brush since it's got that texture. It's giving me a kind of an irregular line. And I did want to sketch out my flowers, which I'm not sure if I can much with this. But there's one long one that comes up. No, I don't need to. I'm just going to have to wing it. Here, wish me luck. I'm going in. We'll see how this goes. Get some burnt umber and mixing it with that background color, which was all those teals and a little bit of the brown whites. And I'm just going to kind of come from this upper area, holding my brush well back. So I'm getting kind of a regular line out of it. And just kind of using that edge, go all the way down into my vase there. There we go. Gonna put an indication where you want some of those to come off on. There we go. And then I decided I wanted a little bit of it coming down this way, so I'm going to do kind of an offshoot over here. With some coming out back like that. Okay. Just to kind of round out this area in here. And then there's one kind of up the middle a little bit. Doing okay, hon?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little bit of that lighter color, so I kind of have a couple colors on here. I'm going to go ahead and go over this face or this line while it's kind of wet. I went a little too hard there.
We got a brush question.
Okay.
They would like to know, do you have a lunar blender brush from Princeton?
Yes, this is the VelvetTouch version. So yeah, it's the same brush basically. Yeah, I just did a whole series of the Select. I have every single Select brush. They sent me all of the Select line to do brushes for Princeton, or brush videos for Princeton. So they're starting, I think, on their website here on YouTube, on their website and on YouTube. They've started uploading them. They're still editing my
But in the $10 Patreon people can see it in that Facebook group, right?
Right.
You did a series?
On Crowdcast. We did it.
On Crowdcast?
Yeah, we recorded it in our weekly videos. Okay. Doing some of these lighter over here. So getting a little bit more of the... And I don't think I'm going to need that yellow at all. So I could have left that off my...
And the brush that you're using right now is a Willow's blender?
Yes, Willow's blender, but it looks like it's the same as the Lunar blender. It's called a Lunar blender in the Select line.
And Willow is a real person.
Willow is a real person. Willow Wolf. Talked to her on the phone. She's very nice. She came up with these brushes, which I really like a lot. All right. It's coming along pretty good. Get a little bit of the Quinacridone burnt orange here. QBO is coming out. And I'm going to bring some of this down here. So I'm going to do some down this way. Kind of coming off right there and then coming out this way. Okay, I think that's all the branches I'm going to do. Bring this one out just a little bit. Bring it up a little bit right here. Do two right there. Okay. Pretty happy. Wanted to leave a nice big area. I tend to fill in gaps. That's just my like OCD, I don't know, tendencies. So I really try to fight that and leave like some openings to
leave some space for your eyes to breathe.
Exactly. Leave some space for your eyes to breathe.
Hey, somebody wants to know what artist catches your fancy. Now,
what artist?
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that they mean like their painting and not them themselves, but
I do have a little bit of a crush on an artist crush on Will Kemp. He's a British YouTuber. Just saying. He replied to one of my comments once and said cheers. I thought that was really cute.
I might need to make a trip to England. Speak
to him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Norman Rockwell was one of my favorites. George O'Keeffe, of course. Van Gogh, Monet. I don't really paint like Van Gogh. I just like his work. Same deal with Monet, probably. I'm not really an impressionist painter at all. I'm just really like that style. These big splatters that I did are not drying. They are just sitting there in the middle, making trouble for me. But we're going to keep on working. I'm just going to work around them. So I want to start. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of that yellow and see if we can get a kind of golden pink color. I want kind of a peachy color. Yeah, that's working. So I'm going to do two colors kind of in our background of our, well, really three. I'm going to use kind of gray, and then I'm going to use a blue, and then use this kind of peachy color. So we'll use all of these in our cotton balls. And I'm just going to start kind of mapping out where I'm putting them. And I'm going pretty lightly at first. I don't want to overwhelm this. Get some of that darker color, but we're going to want some of the darker color in here for our white to show up. So they are basically just kind of a little round poof ball. You've seen a cotton ball, obviously, so let's go and use some of this background color too. Right where I'm going to put those leaves, I'm kind of darkening it up a little bit. With that blue color. And some of these that are kind of farther back, I'm going to make a little bit more gray. So I'm going to go and make that gray now with the Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber and go a little bit more on the blue side with it. This is close to that color that we did down there. Add a lot of white to it. I'll use that for some of these cotton balls that are a little bit farther back. I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in around my vape stem here. We can go back over the top of that later. Some of this is going to get covered up. What are you laughing at?
You almost said vape.
Did I?
Almost.
I
You
stopped
stopped
myself.
yourself, yeah.
Good. I'm learning.
But they do look like ornaments.
They kind of do. Maybe that's why.
Cotton ornaments.
Mm-hmm. So I want some of them to kind of overlap too. Let's put one up here. Just trying to tap in different colors here so they're not all the same. To get a little bit of that teal color, add some of that. It's kind of fun. I like paintings like this where there's kind of low stress. I think this is a really good beginner painting. Probably the hardest part of it would be the stems, I would guess. So, but if you kind of keep in mind that they, they're supposed to look a little jaggedy, and you can always paint over. So if you get, make a mistake like up in here, I'm just going to paint over that part where I got it a little bit too thick right there. just make myself a little excuse to cover that spot. And that way you don't have to worry about any of these that aren't quite where you want them to be or look quite exactly right. They're so cute. I've been asked to do this for a while, so this was one of my most requested paintings last year. I just didn't find the right time to do it. It wasn't the right time of year, so this is kind of in the fall you start to see these. I thought that this would be fun if you kind of put a pumpkin down here too, if you wanted to make it completely fall-ish. You could take like that teal pumpkin that I did last year on burlap and add that down here, or even a white pumpkin be pretty. So just food for thought. If you want to take it up a notch and use it, you know.
If you want to go more of a military theme, you can paint the tank in there.
Right.
That was done earlier this year.
I don't know where you'd have room for it.
Well, it wouldn't have to be full scale.
Right. Get some white here. I do like this brush for this. This is working out pretty good, so. Go back in now with some white. You can see why that having that darker color underneath really helps. That white now has something to play off of. Trying to decide if I want to do another big one right here. I think I'm going to do one small right here that's close to this one. Kind of right in there. Okay. And then I need a couple of them that are kind of just all overlapping each other right in here. So I'm just gonna do two right here. And just make sure one's kind of over the top of the other one. And I'll go in here. So let's put another one right here. Well, this is Liam's opinion of it so far. He's like, it's all right. It's all right. It could be better. Keep on going, Grams. That's such a cute picture. Jordan sent that to us today. Jordan's our son. It's this little boy. Liam, our grandson, first grandson. Alrighty. I'm liking that. It's a little bit, I feel like the vase is a little puny compared to the, I think I might make it a little bit wider. Might have made it a little bit bigger, but I'm going to put one of the cotton balls down low. Right there, kind of covering up that corner of it a little bit. Although I don't know if I like that, actually. I might move it out a little bit. Okay. Alright, keep on going here. Get some of that teal. Oh, I have to make it bigger. Cover that thing up. I'm kind of making them sort of oval-ish since they're kind of facing upward. And then the ones that are facing sideways, I'm kind of changing it up this way. So they're all kind of, you can see they're kind of facing the direction of the way they're placed. I don't know if that's making sense. Yeah, I kind of don't like that I covered up that corner of the vase. I'm going to try to get that back in there a little bit. There we go. Just get a little bit of white. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Let's keep on going here.
Some painting ASMR there for you.
Mm-hmm. Does that make a good scrubby sound? Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like I might put one down here, just kind of on the ground, just to weight this side of the canvas a little bit. Okay. So we can kind of pull this way, so that'll kind of pull it back down around this direction visually. And then when we put these on, I'm just start with the white and go pretty thick with it. Yeah, just gonna think about where my light source is coming from. So it's kind of based on the vase highlights here. It's kind of coming from this side a little bit, I think. This side's a little bit lighter than the other side. We can make it so if it's not. So we'll put the highlight parts kind of on that side, a little bit brighter. I'll give it a little dimension. I'm really keeping these brush strokes very loose, holding it pretty far back here and just kind of tapping in and dragging, putting fairly good amount of paint on my brush here, but then barely kind of dragging it, so I'm getting kind of that loose, broken, sort of fluffy look. And if you want to, you can tap. This is where you could use like a stippler of some sort, and we could stipple in some kind of more textured looking, a little more fluff. Might just do that on a few of them.
Hey, where is your covered bridge painting?
It's a Patreon
Oh, it's a
painting.
Patreon one. Oh, okay.
Yep. It's a bonus video, so
Okay.
if they're at the $5 level, they should get the link. Okay, so I'm starting to kind of also start to think about some leaves here. So kind of starting to put in the suggestion of some leaves with my what color? Teal. Sorry, I'm just.
I think we should glue
I'm
some
full
cotton
on
balls.
art brain right now. What?
We should glue some cotton balls to it.
Glue some cotton balls. Be like a 3D
Yeah.
project. I like it.
Well, you should be doing this with cotton swabs.
I thought about it actually. This
That'd
would be a
be-
really good one to use cotton swabs on.
Ironic, huh?
It would be cotton swabs, painting cotton balls. I'm saying cotton balls, but they're cotton bowls, I guess.
They're Bolls.
Yeah, they're bowls.
Bowls.
Yep. Like the boll weevil.
Right. I'm leaving the kind of center dark there in that one. So it's like facing out. Most of these are not facing out, so I'm not going to worry about the center. But if you do want some of them kind of facing outward, I would kind of do that little indentation that happens in the middle of them. I might maybe make the indication of it on a few of them. So leaving some of that darker part. Really go nice and thick with this. It's a lot of fun. Really not very hard, I don't think. I would definitely let these splatters dry before you try to do this, though, because they're kind of getting in the way. A little bit. Use some of the unbleached titanium over here, too. Okay, so I want to leave some of them that are a little bit darker than others, so I'm not going to paint in, and I'm going to actually go back in here and darken up some of these because I feel like they're all too same. You can see like there's no kind of depth in them, so I'm going to kind of go in here and just sort of damp down just a few of these to add just a little variety. Get a little bit of that green. I'm not really sure what is happening with that huge one right there. Maybe make it two. I'm just gonna put another one out here, kind of behind it, and just stick a stem out to it, right there. Make it sort of behind this one. What happened was this one dipped into that one of these, and it spread and looked weird. So I'll just make another one right there. Okay. Let's get some more white. Looking pretty good. I love that background color. Really pretty. I didn't end up using any of my phthalo green at all, but I think I will use it right now, so here it comes. I'm gonna grab that and grab my burnt umber, burnt sienna, a bird singing a song out there. Grabbing some of that cobalt teal, so that background kind of color that we've been using. There we go. Add just a little bit of white to it. Maybe add a little bit of that ultramarine blue to tone it down a little bit. Make it a little bit more navy, or not navy, but neutral. And yeah, I don't want it quite so green, so I'm going to get a little bit more of the blue, or a little bit more of the brown, I mean. It's closer to my stem color because it's really kind of dried out. It's not fresh. So I don't want it to be green necessarily. I want it to have hints to green, but hints of green. But I don't want it to be super green. Right, so just kind of doing these little things off the side. They kind of cup them as they burst open. So some of them they're pretty thick around that bottom base, and then they kind of get thinner, and they're pretty much everywhere. Grab some more white here. don't have to do these on every single one just exactly the same. You know, they're all going to be a little bit different. So some of them are going to have the stem you're going to see kind of hanging off the side a little bit, coming around the side. And this is where I can kind of clean up that outline too a little bit of the stem, or the, you know, the lines. So if I want to put one over the top again of one of these, like this one, I'm gonna kind of cover over so it's now kind of in the background there, kind of help with the perspective. And they're real kind of papery, so they kind of are not super solid. They're kind of thin. Just make sure that the stems lead up to it. Obviously. It's doing all right. I like it. I'm going to do some around the side of this one. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where it would show up. It's probably not good. I'm going to board that right there. Nope. Yeah, this is where you can kind of go through and add some highlights on some of the stems back in if we want to. I feel like these ones down here got a lot bigger as we went around the side here. These ones got a lot bigger, just in general. So adding some kind of highlights over the top of some of these stems and leaves here. Kind of setting them in and breaking up the solid colors if there are any. Go back in with my white now, just kind of adding little bits here and there if needed. Kind of rounding out some of the shapes. Some of these need to be a little bit bigger. Especially making some of these on this side a little bit bigger. This is where we started. We kind of started out conservatively and got bigger as we went around. Got more confident with what we were doing.
Fill all the space.
I know.
Keep painting. We can still see the background.
Put that one over the top of that one. Yeah, okay, so now I'm gonna get a little bit of that teal color. And my white. That Phthalo blue burnt sienna mixture. It's my white. Here, and you may not have to do this. I'm just noticing that I've got a lot of white and I kind of lost all my, actually I want to use a little bit of yellow in there. Yeah, get some of this background color, that kind of like greenish color. I'm just going to add a little bit of it to some of these cotton balls. And they've got a lot of color going on, so you may not have to do this on yours, but I just feel like mine, some of them are very, very white. I want to tone them down. I like that better. Let's use some of my glazing liquid in this. Where is it? I don't know. Get some of that color that we splattered up here, that background that's just kind of a shade darker than this down here. And we're just going to kind of go underneath my face here. And I've got the glazing liquid, so it's kind of thinned it out. I'm just going to scrape some color in my, under my base there. Get some burnt umber. There we go. Some of that darker color right up close, and then yeah. And if my light's coming from that direction, then my shadow would be kind of heading out this way. I'm going to come up just a little bit from that background. And so I'm scrub it out this direction a little bit. Okay, and just do a little shadow under this dude too. And I'm going to go just a little bit darker with my phthalo blue and burnt sienna here. And darken a little bit inside my vase there. Just kind of obscure those branches where they come in. Can use a little bit of this color up into my leaves. And then I want to use my white and my glazing liquid and some water. Maybe a little bit of my unbleached titanium. It's turning green, so I've got all this green in my brush. That's fine. I just want some, let's use the, where's my fan brush? There it is. Use the fan brush, it'll be a little bit easier. And I just use a glazing liquid because the water will break down the paint. You need it super thin, but it won't stick to the canvas well if it's too thin, so using a little bit of that glazing liquid just makes sure that it'll stick. Do everything a really good tap, tap, a tap. And I'm getting it all over myself. And I might do a little bit of the turquoise too, if I can get some of it. There we go. Cobalt teal.
So we do want to let everybody know they don't have to splatter. If they don't want it, they don't have to do it.
Exactly.
There's no rules.
Nope.
There's no fines.
You're painting, do it your way.
There's no points deducted.
I like splatters.
Really?
I think it kind of adds to it too. I don't know. I think it works for me. I really wish that those big old splatters had dried, but they haven't, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But I think we're done. Yeah. Pretty happy with that. Just saw myself. It's pretty cute. I like it. Hope you try it. If you do, you can share it with me on my social media. I've got all my links down in the description. And yeah, we'll be back. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I forgot to say that. If you want the traceable for this, it'll be available on patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. It's $1 a month for all the traceables that you want. Only $1, not $1 each. And unlimited downloads. If you want to go a step further, there's a $5 level that gives you all the traceables plus bonus videos, like Mark mentioned, the covered bridge and some others that we've got coming up. We're going to be painting an owl. If you want to see the upcoming videos, we've got those posted on my Instagram page and on Facebook, and on Patreon too, I think. And then what else? Oh, and then the $10 level gets their own Facebook group, and they also get extra bonus videos. Once a week we do a video, and we'll be working on that all month long, and I can't remember what we're painting. No, they're doing the owl, I'm sorry. And then the bonus video, the $5 level, is the covered bridge. Or not the covered bridge, but the bridge with the autumn whatever. All right. Yeah, I'm going to stop.
I'm going to go out and come back in.
Yeah, I do. I need to. I was going to do my sides, but I don't think I'm going to. I'll let them set. I wish that color would have dried right there. It's just bugging me.
And that access gets you access to all of the videos, not just one. So you can peruse through all the past months and check out all those videos.
Yes,
So.
all of them. Yeah. Yeah, not just this month, but all of the previous ones as well. So and we have a really, really cool one of a cornucopia that we did a couple of years ago that's on there. That's one of my favorites that I've ever done. So just coming up for holiday season.
Yep, and then this Saturday we'll be doing another live show at 2 o'clock. The hay bales landscape.
Yes.
So the link is already posted on our YouTube page. There's a go. Subscribe. Put your bell reminder on there.
Yeah. Okay.
And the controversial skull coming up the week after that.
Don't leave me mean comments about the skull or the cotton bowls. I know that they're kind of can be controversial. I've heard controversy considering them, but they're southern roots. But
They
I
are beautiful.
don't intend any disrespect at all. I just think they're beautiful. So, all right, that's it. Let's go get some dinner.
Let's do it.
All right, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.